Erica, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yay, I see you. Welcome everybody to Set Real Talk Tuesday. I'm Danisha Roll, and I have Erica Lall joining me all the way from New York, up there with the American Ballet Theatre. She's a core dancer, ballerina in the house. Erica, thank you for joining us.
Of course. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay. Well, guys, I wanted to have Erica join us because she is a ballerina. She's doing amazing things, getting ready to go on tour, and we'll be seeing you across the country, hitting Singapore, doing what she does best. And Erica, I just wanted to hear how you got into ballet. You know, we hear so much about Misty Copeland and how she's, taken ballet by storm with American Ballet Theatre. And here you are, Erica Lall, unique and fabulous in your own right. Thank you for joining us, and tell us, how did you get started as a ballerina?
So my sister's 8.5 years older than me, and I would always want to do everything she was doing. So she was a dancer as well. And thankfully, her teachers would let me go sit in the back of her studio. I was probably 1.5, 2, and I just kind of imitate the dancers the whole class. So that's how I started dancing. I enrolled in my first class when I was 4. That was my first start to ballet. So dance. It was jazz, contemporary, modern, tap, hip hop, but not really ballet until I was 8 when I joined Houston Ballet Academy.
So from Houston, dancing, 8 years old in the Houston Ballet Academy. And then at what point did your parents realize, okay, she's got some talent, let's let her keep up with this?
I think they realized how much I loved it because I would always stay after and try to work on things. And they just saw how dedicated I was. So they knew I had a passion for it, or else I wouldn't care that much about it. So that's when they really realized that this is a career for her. Like she's so focused on this career that it's possible. She could eventually become a professional ballet dancer.
Nice. So they had visions.
Yeah.
And then here you were being a perfectionist, trying to get it right. Okay, so then Houston Ballet Academy, that's where you were, and you spent how long there?
It's levels 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 years.
6 years. Okay, so levels. So when you start out, you're on level 1.
When you start ballet, there's like pre-ballet. That's usually
Okay.
really. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It could be 8, 9. Houston Ballet was 1 to 8, and I joined in level 3. So I was very confused when I first joined because I had been doing tap and jazz and contemporary, and I didn't know any of the ballet language. Didn't know any of the ballet words. So I would just kind of imitate everyone in class because I just didn't know anything.
Really? So for those of you guys that are just joining us for Set Real Talk Tuesday, I have Erica Lall. She is a core ballerina with the American Ballet Theatre up in New York City, getting ready to go on tour. She's telling us how she got her start in ballet. So for those of you guys that have minis, babies that are interested in dance, now is the time to tune in so you can hear from a professional how she got her start, what her parents did. They encouraged you. They saw your passion, and you started on level 3. You'd already been dancing, so contemporary, tap, and jazz. And then you just found your way into ballet, not knowing the terms, but imitating the people that were in the class. So we have this little chocolate girl in ballet. How was that for you? Were any of your friends, were any other Black girls doing ballet with you?
Nope. All of my ballet training, it was just me in the class. And it's hard when you don't see dancers of color succeeding ahead of you. There's more men of color in ballet.
Really?
But when I joined the school, I didn't have anyone really to look up to that was in the career right now. Like I knew Lauren Anderson. She was a principal ballet dancer with Houston Ballet, African American, beautiful. But she had already retired, so I didn't have anyone directly to look up to. So it was really hard when people got older and they saw color. I was called the dark one, the tan one. Teachers would say things like, don't go out in the sun because we don't want tan dancers. We need to all look the same.
Really?
And things like that kind of made me think, oh, maybe I'm not meant to do this. No.
So at 8 years old, 9 years old, you're hearing this.
So 8 and 9, you didn't hear it until it was probably 12, 11, 12, 13.
So did you tell your parents?
Yeah.
And what would they say? How did they handle that?
They were like, that's not nice, but they would say, use that as a drive.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always used negative comments as something to push forward. Because I want to show them that it's not about color, it's about how talented you are.
Mm-hmm.
How much of an artist you are. Color doesn't matter in the art world.
So you hear sometimes people say, you know, you have to work that much harder.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you've heard that and you internalize that?
Yeah. Because it's really hard to think, to not to think, did I not get this because I'm Black? You have to work so much harder just to feel comfortable, I feel.
Really? So in ballet, here you are, you're at the Houston Ballet Academy, and you're working hard to prove that it's not about, you know, the color of your skin. Because then you have those people that'll say, well, you only got the role because you're Black.
Right.
So you got to work hard to prove that I'm just as good or better than you, and I got the role because I'm talented.
Exactly.
So you matriculate through level 7, and then you get to the point where you're invited to go to a summer intensive.
Yeah. And in the school at Houston Ballet, I always wanted to do more. So if I had 2 hours break, 2-hour break, 3-hour break, I'd ask my parents to take me to another class at another studio, an open class.
During your break?
Yeah. Or if I had the morning off or something crazy, I would ask them to take me to another studio so I could train with other people.
Wow.
Classes. Because I was just never satisfied with, like, having a break, you know? I wanted that extra time to train. Got
it. So while you're training, are you in school? How does your education work?
Right. So I was in the Cypress public schools until 7th grade.
Okay.
And then 8th grade, I started doing online school because I was at the studio from like 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. sometimes. And so it was impossible to go to a normal school. So I do school at night till like 3 a.m. because I was a straight A student. And I always had to have that 96 and above average. Always.
Okay, guys. So Erica's that overachiever. Not just one to dance during break, but wanting to have 96 and above, straight A's.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just working hard and wanting to really achieve.
Yeah.
So you're homeschooled, then what?
Then so that was at Houston Ballet, and then when I was 13, was it 13? Yeah, I auditioned for the summer intensive. 13? It must have been 14. Some age, 13 or 14. I auditioned for the ABT summer intensive in California. My dad was going to work in Dallas, and so I was just wanting to do more, as always. So I looked up on the internet auditions that were happening for summer intensive that summer. And there was one in Dallas. So my dad went and did his job, dropped me off at the audition. And I checked off the box for the summer intensive in California because I had already signed up for the Houston Ballet program. And that was the only one that worked with my schedule. And so I ended up getting in. I attended the program. It was 3 or 4 weeks. And then after that, in the fall, I found out I was invited as a national training scholar to the summer intensive the following year in New York City.
Nice.
So that's what started the whole ABT journey, that first summer intensive.
Got it. So for those that are watching, you just tuned in to Set Real Talk Tuesday. We have Erica Lall. She is a core ballerina at the American Ballet Theatre. And she's telling us how she got to become this professional ballerina, starting out as a young dancer in right outside of Houston, Texas. So with the support of your parents and sheer talent and desire, a passion for dance, you wind up in a summer intensive. So the steps are, you find a ballet school, and that's where you sort of focused your talent and went on to not only be homeschooled, but then to go on to be invited to what was the summer intensive program in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
What was that called?
So I auditioned in Dallas for ABT's summer program.
Oh, got it. Okay.
They have satellite programs. There's one in California, Alabama, Austin, Texas, New York. There might be a couple other ones.
So if you guys are anything like me, I didn't know that American Ballet Theatre is like the largest in the world.
It's one of the largest.
Okay, one of the largest theater companies.
Well known.
So it's like the goal of the ballerina to get to the American Ballet Theatre. Got it. So, I'm thinking, I know a dancer. She is dear to my heart, near and dear. Her name is Madison Brown. I watch Maddie dance. And Maddie, if you're watching, I'm thinking of you as I'm sitting here talking to Erica. Telling Erica, I told her a little about you. But Erica, I'm looking at this beautiful black chocolate child. Tell me, for you just mentioned it's so few women of color that are ballerinas that make it as far as you have. And you've had to deal with, people saying, don't go out in the sun. We want everyone to look the same. Do you ever feel like, even making it to where you are, that there will be more diversity?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Are you doing anything to, make, see that happens? Make for certain that is so.
So right now, there are more diversity programs in ballet schools all over.
Really?
ABT just started the ABT Bridge class. They have Project Plie. This is to bring more diversity to dancers of color. They train teachers so they can go out to these other schools and give all these diverse people the opportunity to train with an ABT certified teacher.
Nice.
And they have the Bridge class, which is to bring more diversity into ABT. So there are so many more little dancers of color coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, they're 7, 8. So we're going to see these 7 to 8-year-olds as professional dancers in 10, 15 years. It's going to happen. We're going to see more color because they're getting more opportunities to train now.
Love it. Love it. I mean, and now is a time where we're really embracing one another, the differences, and honoring one another's differences. And I'm so happy to hear that. And for you, getting ready to go on tour, for those of you guys that, may have never been to a ballet, have the opportunity across the country. You're coming up in DC.
Yep.
So DC, Detroit, Chicago, Lincoln, Nebraska. So if you're anywhere near those places across the country, you can go and check out Erica at the theater near you. So now you're preparing. You said from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. typically you're dancing all day.
That was training. That was my training schedule. So now my schedule is 10:15 to 7 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. And so we have a technique class in the morning, which is to get yourself warmed up and work on things. That's from 10:15 to 11:45. And then from 12 to 7 is just straight rehearsals. The 5-minute break in between, an hour lunch break.
And one thing I didn't know was that when we watch you guys up on your toes, that was training. That is just training in and of itself. Point training.
Yes, point.
So what kind of training do you endure just to be able to dance on your toes like that for so long? So
I started with pre-point. That's what they called it. And it's classes where you focus on rolling through your feet. You really have to strengthen your feet because, it's your whole body weight on just your toes. So you have to begin training TheraBand exercises. It's like a year of preparation specifically for point.
Really?
Or else you could break your ankle very, very easily. And
a year of training. Guys, you guys hear that? A year of training just up on your toes. pre-point and point training to be able to dance, to be a ballerina.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you go on, you're 10 from 10 to about 7. Every day you're dancing. You're at the point where you're getting prepared to be a soloist and then a principal in the American Ballet. So that's what you're striving to do now.
My goals are, yes. So
Okay.
you have time in the Corps. It could be 4 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 15 years, it could be 2 years. You just never know. You keep working hard every day.
Wow.
And I hope to be a principal dancer with American Ballet Theatre. That's my biggest dream.
Nice.
I want on stage more, having more opportunities with the company.
Love it. So if there's anything that you could tell the young dancers out there, what kind of advice would you give? Maybe if you had known then what you know now.
Mm-hmm. Just don't let people's comments get to you. That's one of the biggest things. And if it bothers you, use it to push. Because it's so hard, it's so easy to let those comments bring you down, and then you're like, okay, I'm not meant for this, I'm gonna quit. But it's the people that make it that let those comments slide.
So kind of dust your shoulders off, keep it moving, let it roll, whatever it was.
You have to work so hard.
So all the training, just keep working hard. And that's just in life, you know, as we're striving to do whatever it is.
Whatever you're doing.
Yeah. So guys, nugget, she's sharing a major key with us. Keep it moving. You know, people are going to talk. Let them.
Let them talk.
Yes.
So get it now, you know?
So, you know, you're giving us some advice for the young dancers, moms that are watching, dads that are watching, and you have that young dancer that you're seeing that has potential, that has some passion for this. These are, you know, the steps that Erica took, but they just find you know, can they find a school in their area, sign their child up, and, you know, just support them.
Right. And my parents, I moved to New York when I was 15 by myself without my parents.
Okay, wait a second. 15 years old, New York City, the Big Apple, by yourself.
From Texas to New York City. So
okay,
I went city vibe.
All right, so tell us a little bit about that.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So luckily, I had done the summer program before, and that was 5 weeks. I was staying with my best friend, with the host mom. And so,
but that was in Dallas.
No, that was in New York.
Okay.
Summer before I moved here. And so we took the train to ABT every day. So I kind of learned the subway with her. I learned the area we stayed at with her. So I was pretty comfortable with New York. But still, to move when you're 15 is crazy. And I was staying with another 15-year-old in my class in this tiny little apartment with bunk beds. There was one table. We didn't have a closet, so it's just like this hanging rack.
So you guys were thugging it.
Yeah. In a microwave.
And an efficiency.
No stove, no oven.
Not even a studio. Okay.
I don't even know what I would call that, a box.
So, but you made it. Now here you are.
And it didn't even bother me back then. Thinking back now, I'm like, wow, I lived there. But like, it didn't bother me because I was living my dream, you know, getting to train with ABT and the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis School.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, we're gonna sometimes have to use these hard times, no stove, little box.
Right. And it was unbelievable because my mom's Jamaican and my dad's Trinidadian.
Okay.
So
West Indian all the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they were never allowed to pursue anything artistic. My dad's a beautiful painter, artist. Like, he's an artist to the bone. But that just wasn't an option. My mom's a beautiful seamstress. She can sew anything. She can design anything. Mm-hmm. But those just weren't options. It was like, you need to do something with math or the sciences. You know, it just wasn't an option for them.
And how many of you guys can relate? If you have a parent or you yourself may be Jamaican or Trinidadian, you're from, the Caribbean, and you come here and you work hard and you want to see your child as a doctor or a lawyer, never really pursuing the dream or passion because you were raised to come over and, structure, math, science, get good grades, go on to law school.
So it was, thinking back now that I know about the culture more, it was incredible that they allowed me to pursue this passion.
For sure.
Because, West India, they're very keen on this is what you're going to do, nothing else.
Yes.
But I think it's because they weren't allowed to pursue their artistic dream.
And it's funny how that works. Parents can really either mess us up or propel us to be great,
And they still do propel me to do great.
And that's
always worth the encouragement.
So parents, think about it. You may have wanted to pursue your dream, but sometimes we can push our dreams onto our kids. But here you are, propelled, allowed to live your passion, which is major and awesome. And, every night you got to be able to love it. Do you ever come across dancers that you feel like maybe this isn't their passion, that they're...
Yeah, it's their parents' passion sometimes. I definitely had friends growing up, and I was like, do you actually love this, or is it your mom's dream or something?
Really?
Thankfully, my parents never pushed ballet on me. They tried to get me in taekwondo and singing, guitar, choir. I did all of that, but I always came back to ballet. But people sometimes it's their parents that's like, okay, time to go to class, and they're like, oh, I don't want to go.
Yes. Well, you know what? That's something that I have to think about in, raising kids. And for those of you guys that are watching, Set Real Talk Tuesday, we have Erica Lall here. As a parent, are you really pushing your children's passions, or are you pushing your passion and your dreams onto your kids? Because at some point it becomes evident, and you'll have a child that will either love it or hate it, and at the end of the day, here you are, young ballerina, you have your goals to become soloist or lead, principal.
Yes.
But do you see yourself, at what point do you stop? You say you're in your prime.
Yeah.
And at what point for the dancer is it, it's time for retirement?
So usually dancers retire about 40 or mid-30s, late 30s. Because, there's only so much our bodies can take. It's like an athlete, like a football player. We use our body every day, all day. So we can't just have a career until we're 80, 90. So around 40, you retire. You always have to have a plan B. It's number one. Because I could fall and break my back right now. So I actually just got my national training curriculum certification, which is ABT's program. They teach that to the school. So I can eventually go and teach. Okay. I'd also love to be a physical therapist. I would go back to school.
Nice. Okay, so how about kids, marriage?
Yes. I love children. I've always loved children. But I want to be married. I want to have kids. I want to have 3 kids,
Okay, got it mapped out. Ladies, we do that, right? You picture, and guys too. You picture, I want to be married. I want so many kids.
Right.
You want the picket fence, the house. Well, in New York, you may want a brownstone. I don't know.
I don't know. If I have kids, I wonder if I'd stay here or move to a suburb or something. I don't know. Got it.
Okay, so I have a question. When you think about dancing, and this is something, athletes going through puberty, how does that all, with dancing, taking your body through the different changes?
It's hard with dancing. So for me, it was
that, because we have young ladies, you watching, you have children that may want to be dancers. What does your body go through? What happens? How do you guys handle that?
For me, it was okay because I didn't really grow much. I'm 5'3". I never went through a major growth spurt. But so many of my friends would grow 3-4 inches in a year. And dancing, it's really hard to find your center again because you use your core for everything. And then suddenly your arms or legs are 10 miles away from you. And having to find that core again, having to find the coordination again. And then sometimes you gain weight or you lose weight when going through puberty. You just never know. And then it's really hard when you're looking at yourself in a mirror, all of class, all of rehearsal, to not compare yourself and be like, oh my gosh, she's so skinny. And that's when eating disorders can happen.
God, I mean, okay, so you're looking at the different dancers and you're comparing yourself, and ladies and guys too, we do this, you're looking at all the different shapes and sizes, and you're young and you're watching young ladies go through puberty. So how did you handle it?
I mean, I think it was my parents. They always said, you're beautiful the way you are.
Just the way you
So
are.
I never thought about my body as being bad or anything until my friends were saying things like, oh man, I wish I was skinnier. I wish I had more muscles. I wish I didn't have any muscles at all. But I think it was up to my parents. They were constantly telling me that I'm beautiful the way I am. I don't need to change anything about myself.
So you had that inner confidence.
Yeah.
Because they constantly reassured you.
Right. They're incredible parents. I'll tell you that.
And they have an incredible daughter, and I'm so honored to have you joining us for Set Real Talk Tuesday. So guys, just allowing your kids to live their passion and then instilling confidence in them, telling them that they are beautiful just the way that they are. No matter what shade, no matter what shape, and really allowing them to be them.
I've had friends tell me their mom's like, oh, you need to lose some weight. And I think that's one of the craziest moments, because then all of a sudden they're tiny, they're not eating. And it's your parents that should be lifting you up. So it's really hard to see that happen,
For sure, I bet.
And
okay, so you made it through. Now here you are.
Yes.
So tell me about the apprenticeship as a dancer.
So after you train in the school, you join a second company, which is a mini company. It's usually like 15, 20 dancers. 14, 15 at the youngest to 21, usually. Something around that age. And that's a mini company where you get opportunities to perform principal roles, soloist roles. You go on tour a little bit. It's a little taste of company life. And you also get to perform with the company. And then after the second company, you join as an apprentice. So usually it's 6 or 8 apprentices a year. And that's kind of your trial period. See if you're ready to be in the corps de ballet. You're not quite in the company yet, but you're doing the company's rep. You're in rehearsals. And it's an opportunity for them to see if you fit well with the company, if your height's good, if you're quick enough to pick up the choreography. So it's a hectic period because you just don't know if you have a job. And at the end of it, you could be performing every night and still not get a job with the company.
So how do you sustain yourself? For those of you guys that may be aspiring dancers or have children that may want to be dancers, how are you affording this life?
It's a crazy life, I'll tell you that. I think one of the biggest things you have to have in this career is confidence.
So even with the confidence, when I say affording, I mean, if you don't have a job, like if you're an apprentice, are you being paid to be an apprentice?
Yes.
Okay, so you're making a salary, you're a wage. Okay, so we're not just there dancing to prove ourselves, like an internship, but you are able to be paid to do this.
As an apprentice, yes.
Okay.
But when you're in the school and in the second company, you're not getting paid. So you're all through training in second company, you're having to pay to get your point shoes. And point shoes they used to be like $25. But now they're $89 a pair, $100 a pair.
So typically you have to have how many point shoes?
Well, right now, as a company member, it's like 4 or 5 a week. But when you're training,
pairs of shoes a week?
Yeah. Because they die so easily. They're not meant to last years. But when you're training, it's probably like when you're just starting point, like 1 or 2 a month. But when you're in the school, it could be 3 or 4 a week. and you're having to pay this out of pocket.
3 or 4 pairs of shoes a week.
That's the most expensive part of ballet, the point shoes.
Guys, did you know that? I did not know that.
Right. Like designer heels. You gotta pay for your point shoes.
Wow. Okay. And so for you, I mean, so are your parents helping you to do this, or?
I was training, yes. But when you join a company, they provide your point shoes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we got goals. Join a company.
Yes. That's the big goal for any training ballet dancer, to join a company.
Nice. Okay. So right now you're preparing for the tour, as I mentioned. So we're starting out, guys. If you're in DC, you can see her at the Kennedy Center. If you're in Detroit, at the Michigan Opera Theater. If you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, it's the LEID Center for Performing Arts. And then Chicago Harris Theater in Millennium Park. So you're going to be there, excited. How are you butterflies? Like, do you get nervous?
It's so weird. I don't get nervous. I just get really excited.
Okay. So I'm excited, but I just had to know, but okay, you're a professional. This is what you do.
Most people get nervous. I've just never been nervous in my life.
That's the overachiever in you.
I just get really excited and I'm like, okay, we're going on stage.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So guys, check her out. I'm excited. If you're not following Erica Lall on social media, it's Erica_Lall, LALL. So ERICA_LALL on Instagram. Can we follow you on Twitter? Same place, same handle? And then are you on Snapchat? Do you ever snap?
I don't Snapchat usually. I should get one.
You should. Let us follow you. But she does. She's active on her Insta story.
Yeah.
So we'll get to see you, follow your journey. I'm looking forward to catching you in one of these cities. And then you'll be in Singapore and Hong Kong. But then from May through July, you're going to be at the Metropolitan Opera House back in New York.
8 weeks straight of dancing, every week a new ballet.
So summertime, NYC, guys, check her out. You saw her here for Set Real Talk Tuesday. Thank you for joining us. Any parting words, anything you want to say to the up-and-coming dancers or parents of possible dancers?
I just want to say, work hard, You have to work hard in order to succeed. Don't ever think something's going to just fall in your hands.
Yes. So work hard. We're going to do that. And you inspired us going through adversity, having people say things that were less than kind.
Mm-hmm. And
still saying things, but dusting your shoulder off, letting it roll right off of you, and continuing to work hard. Straight A's, want to dance through the break.
Yeah.
Showing your passion. Guys, that's what it takes sometimes. Even when you think you have time off, there's somebody that's grinding. So grind when you think, that you want to sit down, just keep pushing, because somebody out there is. And Erica is an example of that. So thank you for joining us. You've given us some nuggets, plenty to grow on. You got me inspired over here. And I'll be watching you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Guys, we will be back for Set Real Talk Tuesday next week. I am Danisha Roll, and I'm set.
I'm Erica Lall, and I'm set.
Yes. Guys, we'll see you soon. Good night.
Good night.